everyone. I just obviously at home today on my own, and I think I like talking to myself when I'm at home, so I don't always think about going live, and then on the spur of the moment I am ahead of time and I'll go live. So this little lad is a multipoo, and the reason I went live on him is because I haven't had him from a baby, so you have to work dogs out and understand them and understand what they do and don't like. Now this little man absolutely hates the thinners and chunkers. He's fine with scissoring him, clipping him and everything, but as soon as I put the chunkers on him, he starts to move and wiggle, and you can feel that it's in his body language. I'm going to put my grooming top on, that he doesn't like it. I've never seen myself live on video, let alone in a little top. Okay, so with him, so I didn't really want to do a video today on the exact lines, and because he is a little bit of a wriggler, and because I like to just finish with the chunkers, it makes it a little bit harder to get a neater finish. But you always have to work with the dog, and you always have to make the grooming the most pleasant experience you can for the dog, because if you don't, the dog will then be silly and make your life 10 times harder. So it's harder, I think, to hear me with the clippers on. So I'm going to clip from the occiput, and knobbly bit in the back of the neck all the way down. But I do the neck next. I don't take the harness off to do that. All the way down to the base of the towel. I don't clip over the towel, I only go to the base. I'll clip to the fattest part at the top of the leg, from the loin down to the elbow, and not right into the elbow, but I will clip to the elbow. So here's the fattest part of the leg, okay, as you can see, but then I'll skim. So I'll get to the loin and then I will skim off. Gives you less time, less work scissoring. Less time, less work. Always going over your work. I'm trying to stand back to the camera, but as always I am at work, so I have to be quite quick. So I'll just comb these little bits up. Sun shining through today. And then I will clip either side of the bottom and across the bottom. He hasn't got no ghoulies, so I haven't got to worry about that. So I've got a nice flat bottom. These little roses are there, but we can flip over them with a number 4. Spinning around. I'm still in camera. So you should keep your hand on the dog at all times. The reason I'm not is because I'm trying to if I've got my hand on him all the time, you're not going to see nothing. So I'm trying to step back. But if you have your hand on the dog all the time, for one, if he's going to fall off the table or be silly, you can feel what he's going to do. And if they're moving, you can also feel, so it gives you that opportunity to just stop for 5 minutes or a couple of minutes, let them settle again and then carry on. can't swap hands. I can't clip my left side with my right hand. So again, I'm skimming down the back leg. See now, I don't know if anyone comments, live chat, all messages are visible. Welcome to live chat, reminder to guard your privacy. Okay. So what I want, when I clip all the way down the leg, I want this to all be in line with him. I don't want any bits sticking out, because then it looks like it's all nicely blended and you have a nice teddy bear look, but you don't want to see the difference between the skirt and the leg. You want this, you see from both sides, you want this to look the same all the way down. But in theory, it gets longer as it goes down. Wait. Around his head, I will clip, so his occiput's here, so I'll just clip, I'll skim in and then clip over the occiput. Round the back of the ears, so the whole of the back of the ear clean. And then hold the head forward, up, and you want to clip down round the jawline, round the cheekbone. And again, I'm doing like a bib. So where I've clipped, I'm just coming round the front of him. And again, I come down to where the chest bone is, and then I skim off. Because again, from here, we want to have this blended. We don't want to see any bits sticking up, so that's why I skim. I have got to keep an eye on time. I've got a little bit longer today. Well, not longer, but I was quickly got myself ahead. So I'll pop it this way. So I'm going to do under his belly first. So I'm going to scissor from the loin, slight angle, down to his elbow. Now usually I would like to chunker this a little bit, but I can't, because like I said, he does not like the chunkers. I will show you in a minute what he's like with them. Good boy. Problem is, I don't want to use the chunkers and he's silly, because I don't want him to then get to the point where he's then silly with my scissors as well, because then I'm going to be really in trouble. Oh, I used a skip tooth number 4. So supporting his leg at all times. I'm just going to scissor. Oh, boy. And scissor under his foot. Check his toenails. They're okay. Always cut toenails before you do around the foot. Cut across the front of the foot first at a 45-degree angle. And follow your scissors round. And put the foot down, and you can recheck over. Hold your foot down and scissor flat across, up, and scissor flat across the back of the leg, back of the foot, sorry. I'm going to comb all this up and we're going to scissor down. conformation of the dog. So I tuck in at the top of the leg and then follow my scissors round, follow the leg round with my scissors more like. Back of the foot, come longer, so an angle. No, maybe, I don't know what kind of angle that is. 30 degrees maybe, but a slight angle. So you're longer at the hock. And tuck in as much as you can. He's short on his back end. You have to do dogs at a reasonable length as well, because they've got to last between grooms, haven't they? I mean, he has to last about 7 weeks. You see, I jump him around a little bit so his hair lays naturally. I don't want my scissors. Inside of the leg, we just come straight down. So we are. I sort of come in a little bit where I've scissored the same kind of conformation of the leg, and then I'll just scissor down. But can you see? Yeah, it looks the same length all the way down. Good boy. Hold his little foot up underneath the foot. Straight across the back of the foot again. Just lifts it up off the back of the leg. Just check his toenails on this side. Good lad. Try and always be consistent with what you do. That's George, he's at home. I've got a really tickly nose, always got a tickly nose. Try and be consistent in how you work and methodical, because the dogs seem to get used to how you are and how you work after a few times of seeing you. And you also get an understanding of how the dog works. Some dogs are really easy and will just let anyone groom them. Others aren't so much. So again, I'm combing the leg up. I want this leg straight down. So when I'm doing here like this, I've got my scissors from this angle. It enables me to step back, scissor all the way down to the foot, or to the table, the bottom of the foot. Try and tuck it in under his foot. So I've got him under his groin, and at the moment he's trying to lift his front leg. So I'm just holding him up slightly up in his groin, so his back legs they're on the floor, but they're loosely on the floor. So this will just encourage him to actually stand on his front legs rather than keep trying to lift them like he's trying to do. So I'll scissor half of the front foot from this side. Like I've said in a lot of videos, I don't use comb attachments. We didn't have them when I trained anyway. And I have tried to use them so I can teach or show you better work. I just can't get on with them. Can't see. I can't do them. They're a nightmare. I personally think I just can't work with them. Having the ability to scissor will help you so much in your grooming. it will obviously make your grooming better. But it would just help. It just helps because some dogs don't like their legs being touched. They don't like them being held. They don't like the clippers down them, which is fair enough. The inside of the front leg here, I can just scissor. Harder to scissor that one that way because of your boy. So you can see how well he's standing. My chumpers. There, see? There's something with them. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like them. So always work with your dogs. You can feel him in his body language getting very anxious with them. Don't know why. So I haven't groomed him from a baby. And his dad's a hairdresser, and I've asked his dad if he's used thinners and everything on him, and he said no. But there's something he doesn't like about them. Okay, I am not using them. Just scissor over the top of his tail. It blends. His tail, I would always get them to stand back, don't carry on with them. It's okay, it flicks up at the bottom. At the end, I think he thinks I'm going to hurt it. I do generally hold it to the end and scissor across the top, but his really bends at the end. So I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to hold it up. Barney. It really flips up there, so we don't need to. Do his bottom as well. I find the bottom easier from the other side because I can hold the tail up. But while he's standing here, good. You see how flat we are across the bum as well. And again, from the loin down to the elbow. But instead of necessarily watching me scissor, it's watching where I manoeuvre myself to as well. How I hold my equipment. You see me holding my scissors a lot like this. I've got my fingers all around the scissors, supporting them, so I can hold my scissors without my thumb in them. That's how supported they are. Okay, this way, I'm not so much. You see how my fingers change. Just straight across the foot. I'm sorry, darling. Sometimes I scissor feet, sometimes I clip them out. Depends what I've got in my hands at the time. I'm holding his foot up to scissor them because they're so small. Straight across as tight as you can to the front of them toenails. This will give you a nice little foot. And then this side we'll tuck in. See how differently I have to hold my scissors and my equipment from this side compared to the other side. Your equipment is part of you. You want to work it in your advantage. So you want to work with it and with the dog. Don't try fighting against everything because it'll just make grooming miserable. Tuck in the angulation on the back of the leg. The hock's the longest point at the top there. Come round on the inside, straight down again. Oh, he's been really good. I think it's because he's on camera. The front foot. Cut across the back of the front foot again. Toenail clippers. Good boy. Clearly doesn't like his toenails being done either. You need to do the toenails that need doing. They don't all need doing. On him. Still see a bit on the inside of the back leg. But like he's being silly now. Just I use my comb just to support him, just to steady him, support him, steady him, just to stop him wiggling around, and then wait till he settles and then carry on. If you in your body language persevere with a dog and get them to understand what it is of them that you're asking, because they don't know, especially first time round, they don't know what they're meant to be doing, they will eventually, yeah, I think eventually, it could be a few years, actually start to realise it's not that bad. I say some dogs just come in and they let you get on with it. Not everybody's like that. And try and have a good relationship with the owners. It's always a big thing. My table's quite low at home. I should put some feet on it. I didn't do it. Boy. So the inside of the foot here, I'm cutting across, which wouldn't be, it isn't great on him because he's got a straight coat. But to try and lift the inside of this foot's awkward. I'll check it from this way. Sorry, I'm right in front of the camera, but I have to manoeuvre myself to do what I can do to get the dog done as well. Like I say, these are real customers, real dogs, but they're not a dog that I prep for a grooming competition or anything. My own dogs stand remarkably, but these are just dogs. Aren't you? You're just dogs. So, let me see. When I comb, see how long it is at the bottom compared to the top. You can see some long bits there. That's YouTube telling me I'm going live. Oh, and he moved. Oh, Barney. Right. Head. I'm going to clip across the top of his ears with the number 4. He doesn't like his ears being done on the inside either, so I can't clip the inside of his ears. The thing, he really gets agitated. There's just no point him and me going through that. So always feeling where your ears are, yeah, and always scissoring away from the ear. So as you can see, I'll scissor up and away from the ear. Don't come this way. I'm miles away from the ear, so I know I can scissor like this, but when I come to the end, I'm not quite close. So there's certain things I learned when I was training. I've got my finger running all the way along the end so I can feel it, that you always stuck to. And being safe in some of the things that you do in scissoring the dogs, scissoring around the ears, you always do it. You always do the same, because the last thing you want to do is catch the dog's ear. No. Barney. Come here. Ah! Sit down. Right, front of eyes. Comb the eyes up. I'm going to use my curve down. I'm going to curve out. No. Can you see? I'm like, I've got under his chin for support to hold him. Or I hold it all the way under, and sometimes I tickle behind the ear. And then I will use my other hand to settle him. Then we'll continue. Now I like to thin in front of the eyes after I've scissored, but as we know, he doesn't like the thinners or the chunkers. It doesn't make no difference either or. He don't like either. So then I will comb all the hair across, and I will scissor at from the corner of the eye to the other corner of the eye, straight across. Okay. Once I've done that, I will then scissor round. So shorter at the end of the muzzle, round. My scissors need sharpening. And round to the corner of the ear. You see that? So again, I'm just lightly pushing him, just, put his foot down, encourage him. I'm not going to turn him because he's clearly not liking his head being done. I want to try and not get in a fight with them. Don't ever cut underneath the chin until you've finished, because once you cut underneath the chin, you've got no hair to hold. Wait, Barney. Also got my other finger trying to, I would show you from the front how to do this, but you're shorter at the cheek where you scissored, so you're shorter, coming out longer and going shorter up towards the top of the head. If he'd face that way, I'd show you, but he won't. Sorry. Like I said, I don't just do these videos to show you exactly how to do something. I do them to show you good handling. Because handling is a must. It's nice to do the best you can of every dog. It's nice to make them go home looking amazing. But it's also nice for a dog to go home and have all of his feet intact. No cuts, no bitten fingers, so, and a happy dog and a happy groomer. No. No. He keeps wanting to paw me. I don't want him pawing me. Again, I love to just go over this with the thinners, but it's not going to let me. It's not going to happen. I have done round head videos, and I will do some more to explain. I reckon someone's caught him somewhere. Right, okay. You can hold it it still. You see. Right, now I'm going to go under the chin. No, Barney. Barney. So I've got his bottom jaw and his nose to get under his chin. Okay, that's not working. Barney. Obviously be very careful when they got their tongue out like that. Oh, okay, we're done. Oh, Willy. Willy Winky, wait. Wait, because I've got harness on you. Wait. I don't know if he likes his Willy being done like this. Oh, yeah, isn't he? Done. One done. Good lad. And then this is his little sister. Now, the last time she come in, she's only a baby. She's only about a year and a half. So she's still very young. The last time she come in, she was really matted. So I had to clip her body and scissor her legs. And this time, they said they don't want her body clipped. But she was matted, so there wasn't much else I could do. So I clipped her a skip tooth number 4. Other than that, my longest blades are 3, which I don't have at home. I'm going to have to scissor her all over. She's really small. She's very slight. She's quite skinny. Not bad skinny, just skinny. So I'm going to scissor her. But I need to still take, he said, only just a little bit off and not too much. But as a groomer, you have to then do what you know is best as well. Now, I know if I only just do a tiny little bit, she'll be matted next time. So I'm going to take a reasonable amount of scissors off. She did look really terrible last time being clipped. See how I encourage her to turn her head. I don't really want her head in my way. It's just being... No one of us probably want to watch this, to be fair. It'd be quite boring just watching me scissor. But watch me handling her. It's good. See, now with scissoring, I can make her look more rounded on her belly, whereas clipping just clipped it short. So it does give you a little bit more shape. Scissors are sticking. Now I could pin her up and make her stand with her head up there more, but if I try and keep enticing her, like I said, make a dog feel happy with being groomed. I'm just chunking a little bit. You know, if they feel, I've got my hand under her all the time because, as you see, when I let her go, she's spun around. But try and get them to understand what you want them to do. By putting a belly harness on the dog all the time, you're not teaching them to actually stand still and be good. You're just aiding your grooming, which in the future, I don't think it'll help you. I find that the dogs lean into the belly harness. Thank you. No, it's still not working, but It's repetitive, isn't it? It's like kids. So you have to do the foot before you do the leg, really. Check toenails. I usually do toenails on my way around because then I know I've done foot, done toenail, done leg. So I don't like to keep turning the dogs. I'll hold her foot up and do a 45-degree angle around her foot. But you do want this bit as flat as you can. You see it like how, actually, I'm coming in like this with my scissors as well. You see it at an angle. I can't always catch the hair from that way, so I'm coming in this way. So I have to get the length. I do the length from the feet first, so then I can then carry on with this. Now I always thought using my curve to come around here it would be nice. Personally, I don't actually like it. So I do it with my straights and I tuck myself in and come around to get the angulation. I might have to do a leg quite short, so a few tangles in it. I sometimes find that by relying on my chunkers, really, Lily? By relying on my curved, I take the wrong bits out sometimes. Encourage her to stand around. We don't want you looking that way. So I'm going to cut in at my angle here. This is nice and it curves on this bit, especially little dog. This one really naughty, I have all my equipment on the table. So you can swap and change on your way around. Curved are really nice one around the feet actually as well. So you can see I haven't let her back leg go at all. I've held her the whole time. This will encourage her to stand. So the front foot, I'm going to come through the middle, across the back of the front foot. Do the toenails, she's going to obviously turn to do them. Try and encourage her to just stand to do her front foot. Straight across the front. And like I say, with your curved, it actually goes around really nicely. My tummy's wrong with it. 45-degree angle all the way around. But can you see, I don't manoeuvre her much. The other side I might get in the way of the camera a lot more because it's the awkward side. I'll come straight down at the front of the leg. I'll tuck in shorter at the elbow. and coming round, and then shorter where the pastern, where the little knobbly bit is, the knobbly pad on the back of the foot, back of the leg, full around. Now she will let me use my chunkers. Sometimes I like to just soften. Tuck in so the leg looks like it's underneath the dog and not forward, not too far forward. We tuck in here. The main thing, really, as a groomer, is to really, really try and practice your scissoring. And manoeuvring your scissors, even at home, just sit at home with a pair of scissors watching telly and just, what are you doing with the other leg up in the air? It will make your life easier if you can scissor. I couldn't imagine trying to get a comb attachment down this, even a clipper blade down this little one's legs. They're like the size of my leg under there. They're tiny. She's very, very petite. And it's nice. It's nice to just gently groom them and not fight them too much. As long as they're not matted. Even if you have one of them days where you're ahead of time, but you've got a dog, say they want it shaved short, but you've got a bit of time on a day, especially in the winter or something. Right, stand there and scissor it a bit before you clip it all off. She's so soft. I'm going to do her tail from this way as well, because it's probably easier to see it on the camera. Not there as well. So her tail, because she doesn't flip up at the end, get her to stand. Put my finger under there. I'm going to snip off the end of it, because I don't like to see them dragging on the floor. Pick up everything, and you can get it shorter underneath. Comb it all up. Part down the middle. Encourage her again. You know, don't fight with her. There's no point me hanging on to the towel and her yanking around me. Just encourage her to stand where you want her to stand. Yeah. Right. Have a shade. Have a shade. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Good girl. I tell my dogs to turn around and they literally just get up and turn around. Welcome to live chat. top chap. I don't know how it all... Right, other side. This side I must probably be in the way a lot more. Because I'm scissoring all over. So let me try. Remember I say she's only a baby. See, this side, I'll hold on to her face a lot more. So I'll hold this in. The only problem with this is, so I've got hold of her face, so you can feel if she's going to move as well. But the problem with this is that she can keep sitting. So I'm trying not to overly tug or pull her too much, because I don't want to encourage her to feel like she can sit. And to be honest, if she did sit, I would go straight underneath, because I've got hold of her chin. I can feel when what her body's doing. So you can feel if the dog's just about to sit down. So I would entice her to stand back up and put my scissors just gently underneath her to entice her to go back up again. I think this is the other thing. When you rely on a belly harness, you don't have your hands on the dog. The only time I think I use a belly harness is this side. I do have some dogs that will constantly sit and won't stand up. So I'm okay, because here I could do this side here, holding them up. It's when I get to the front leg and they sit and I can't get them to, I can't do both. So then I will put a belly harness on them. But I also find it gets in the way. You're trying to scissor here, and then I want to go back and check, and I've got the harness stuck in the middle all the time. It drives me mad. You just do around the foot, across the back of the foot, around the foot. Her toenails are fine on this side. Straight across the front and round. Like I said, using it curved, and my dog's just really noisy. Now she's got used to how I work, as you can see. Ellie. That's my own standard poodle. Just barking. Ellie. In front of the camera. Sorry, just in the angle of the... I don't know why my dogs are barking. Girls! What's the tangles here? And see, she was 7 weeks growth as well. If you can maintain a dog in a bit of a longer coat, Without them being matted, they're actually easier to groom. You just don't want them getting matted. She gets matted very quickly. Maybe it's still because of her baby coat. Still going through coat change and everything like they do. Oh, Ellie! The neighbour talking in the garden. That's what they're barking at. Girls! My neighbours have been in the garden for a good 50 years. I think they've recognised their voice by now. Right, around the foot. So straight across the front of the foot again. Around the foot. And it all up. Put it straight down. It's the same as clipping. I mean, to be honest, I don't scissor a dog all over if I don't have to. I will clip it. But practicing scissoring the body and all over will help you practice your scissoring. Because scissoring the legs is more getting the right angles in and the right shapes and curves, and dogs are usually sillier on their legs. So practicing control of your scissors on the body is generally a bit better. So to pull the leg, just turn the leg out slightly for this side so I can do half of the inside of the front leg. You want to go with the coat, especially on a really straight dog like her. And then the inside of this leg, I can hold up and do it. Generally, you encourage the dogs to sit. So I'm just going to chunk her it. Annie, quiet! Oh, it's really noisy here. We haven't got the parrot singing. So shorter again at the top, coming round slightly out and then in, and then at the pad in, and the front leg follows the same suit. You don't want to go too tight in here because then you'll end up with just a foot stuck on the end. It's always a good tip as well. When you get to this point in the neck, when you're scissoring all over, turn your curved up. Out of the way, because otherwise it keeps hitting them on the back of their back. Keeps hitting them on their back. Right, front of your eyes. Trim all the hair up. Use my curved again. Curve pointing out of the eye. Now on her, oh, I'm going to use my little thinners. Quiet. I've scissored on the back of the neck, like I'd have clipped from the occiput down. Hold the ear up. So again, where I would have clipped, I'm going to scissor. Big old knot behind over here. Wait. Because I want to have the neck separate from what I'm doing on the head. Okay, so I will do the neck. Exactly the same lines as the clip-in. So then I've got my head. Comb the head, front of the eyes forward, and I'll go from one corner of the eye to the other, straight across. I don't cut down here further because then you come down into the hair that's actually on the cheek and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to comb all this up to get my nice round head. I'm going straight through the middle. And I'll do this flat. I'm tucking over the occiput with my curve so I can go over. To where I scissor. So I'll show you in a second. Let me just get it neat. So you can see on her that how long it is there and there. We're going to leave that for a minute, so I'm just going to get my flat bit across the middle of the head. And I'm going to do the sides, so flip her ear out the way, we don't want that in the way. Nice pair of curves, so short at the front of the muzzle and around. And tuck it up to the ear. Do the same on the other side. Flip her ear out of the way. I'm going to come from this way. You can come from this way or you can come down this way. And you can check it by looking underneath. And check by there. So the corners. So you can see on hers actually where I've got leftover bits. So to grab these, try and do it so you can see. I'm just going to take it. So you're still coming with your curved. So you're coming longer and out, and then shorter at the where you've scissored at the cheek up. You see that? This will give you a round head because if it's really noticeable on her how skinny her head is. So if I cut in too much here over the temples, I will end up losing that round head. You see that? Flop the ears down to see what you've got. curved chunkers are good as well. We'll just scissor, I mean her ears here, the top of her ears, you don't want to scissor into the ear hair, but you just want to blend enough, because look, I've got, you know, my ear, this is all ear hair. I do need to blend over just a little bit. And a cute little round head that is very long here compared to the top. And this is what scissoring helps you do. You can play with what you've got. Even if you are clipping over and things, you just have to work with your equipment and understand the understand the dog's body and what the customers want and what's achievable. Just work with it, just so I'm going to do underneath her chin last, like I said, because otherwise once you cut that off, you is stuffed. Right, to do round ears, I do have to put it back in her harness, because otherwise they drop their heads down. Comb all the ear down, use your curve. You don't want to go too short at the front here. You can tidy up that end. You just want to give a nice little, you can either go straight down or curve wrap straight across, or I prefer it just a little under there, a tangle. You either end up with like Barney's ears, which were very different, I thought they were my jumpers, or like her ears. Depends on the dog, doesn't it? Depends on how you see it and how the owner wants it. I like their ears looking long, they haven't said nothing. One last check over. I've got to give her Minnie Mouse. Literally, but she's tiny. She's teeny, weeny tiny. And even like now, so having that time at the end of the groom, just to whiz over them, but nicely and gently and calmly. time to make a cup of coffee before my husband comes in. Right, all sorted, all done. That's it. Oh my God, you're cute. Very sweet. Laters, everybody.